The federal government has become a tyrannical behemoth. It's too big, too powerful, and too intrusive. The Founding Fathers warned us against an overreaching federal government. They instructed us to resist tyranny. Today, we see the consequences of ignoring their warnings. The federal government has its hands in nearly every aspect of our lives. It dictates how we educate our children and run our businesses. It even controls our healthcare choices. This is not freedom. We are a nation founded on the principles of individual liberty and limited government. We must shrink the size and scope of the federal government. The political class will resist any attempt to reduce its power. They will fight to keep the power they have stolen from the states and the people. But it's a fight worth fighting. The future of our republic depends on it. This is not the country I want to leave future generations. The federal government has become a regulatory leviathan. It crushes innovation and stifles economic growth. Businesses, large and small, are drowning in a sea of red tape. This regulatory overreach hurts everyone. It raises prices for consumers and reduces choices in the marketplace. Take healthcare, for example. The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, was supposed to make healthcare more affordable and accessible. Instead, premiums have skyrocketed and deductibles have become unaffordable. Or consider the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. This agency imposes crushing costs on businesses in the name of protecting the environment, often with little to no benefit. Why do we have bureaucrats in DC dictating what type of soap we can use to wash our cars, or pushing the green energy scam that hurts the economy and causes people to die from freezing to death when they can't heat their homes because reliable sources of energy were banned? The federal government has become a regulatory monster, and it's time to put it on a diet. We need to roll back burdensome regulations and unleash the power of the free market. The Founding Fathers were deeply suspicious of centralized power. They had just fought a revolution to free themselves from tyranny. This is the type of government regulations that caused them to take up arms. They created a system of government with limited and enumerated powers. The Constitution grants the federal government only a handful of specific powers. All other powers are reserved to the states or to the people. The best way to protect liberty is to limit the power of government. Sadly, we have strayed far from their vision. Section 4, Enumerated Powers, a limited mandate. The Constitution enumerates the specific powers of the federal government. These powers are limited and defined. They do not include the power to regulate every aspect of our lives or create massive welfare programs. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution grants Congress specific powers, but they are limited to the following: the ability to levy taxes, regulate commerce between states and foreign nations, coin money, establish post offices, declare war, raise and support an army and navy, establish lower courts and create laws regarding naturalization and bankruptcy. The 10th Amendment makes this clear. Powers not delegated to the United States are reserved to the states or the people. The federal government does not have a blank check to do whatever it wants. Section 5, Practical Steps. Closing the departments of excess. Downsizing the federal government will require bold action. We need to start by eliminating entire departments and agencies that have no constitutional justification. The Department of Education. Education is primarily a state and local responsibility. Why are corrupt federal employees telling the rest of us how our children are to be educated? The Department of Energy. Another corrupt federal agency that is pushing the Green New Deal, even after it has been proven to be ineffective and harmful to the nation. The free market can meet our energy needs. We don't need a federal agency telling the rest of the country the type of energy that is acceptable to everyone. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF. It infringes on Second Amendment rights. The Constitution does not allow government at any level to regulate firearms. What part of shall not be infringed do you not understand? The Department of the Interior. All federal lands should be returned to the states or sold to private owners. There are states in the western part of the country where the federal government is the largest landowner. Why is that? The Department of Agriculture. There is no need for a federal agency full of corrupt bureaucrats whose main job is to regulate every aspect of our food, from the way it is grown and produced to how it is eaten. Stop mandating that harmful chemicals are put into our food. I think let the farmers grow the food and we can use it however we want. Section 6, empowering the states, restoring the republic. We need to close any federal agency that has a state-run equivalent. Closing these departments is a start, but we must also return power to the states. The founders intended for the states to be laboratories of democracy. States are better suited to address the unique needs of their citizens. When states are free to experiment with different policies, we all benefit. Successful policies can be adopted by other states, and unsuccessful ones can be avoided. Unless you are a Democrat, I know you guys really like pushing policies that have been proven not to work no matter how many times they are tried. Returning power to the states would shrink the federal government. This would free up resources to reduce the national debt and lessen the burden on taxpayers. Downsizing the federal government is essential to preserving our liberty and restoring our republic. The time for action is now. Downsizing the federal government would cut the federal budget deeply, meaning lower taxes for all Americans. Most importantly, it would return power to the states and the people where it belongs in a free society.